Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and today we have another Dino Dex video, and this is more of just like a theory video for Season 2, and this is pretty much just the top 10 species I think will be in Dino Dex Season 2. This is basically exclusive to just dinosaurs and a few other Mesozoic animals, so I didn't even consider any Paleozoics or Cenozoics. Those would probably also be included, but this is mainly a list of dinosaurs specifically, though I think there's at least one pterosaur and one marine reptile on this list. So, yeah, anyways, let's jump into this video. Pretty much, I'll explain each reason why I think each species is going to be in here, but the first one I don't think these are really in any particular order, but, yeah, anyways, first we have Maposaurus. Well, I have a few reasons to suspect Maposaurus possibly being in the series. Well, really only kind of two. Pretty much, I made a whole entire video on this, but pretty much, Maposaurus not only has an appearance in the Dino Dana Activity Guide, which, if you didn't know, a lot of species from the Dino Dana Activity Guide actually did end up appearing in Dino Dex. And, yeah, I don't think that these were, like, species that were already planned to be in Dino Dex. And I know I made another video talking about all the Activity Guide species end up in Dino Dex. I don't think so. I think pretty much the Activity Guide is just full of species that the creators of the show they would either want to see in the series, that either canonically appeared in the series, or just that they generally think would just be a cool species to include in the series. So I think the Activity Guide is just generally full of species that they would that would fit in the show, or that they wanted to include in the show. And Maposaurus could be one of the species that they may intend on putting in. Another reason, again, already talked about this before, Maposaurus is mentioned in Dino Dex Season 1 when they're listing off predators that are quote-unquote bigger than T-Rex, even though none of them are bigger than T-Rex, but Maposaurus is in that list of species. So, possibly Maposaurus could appear. Another thing is a lot of the episodes of Dino Dex Season 1 are heavily focused on hunting sauropods, or just generally would have worked better with Maposaurus, so kind of also just a hope of mine that they include Maposaurus, since, again, I think it would just fit the series very well. So, yeah, also I want to mention the image I used for Maposaurus. Most of these are just my actual, like, fan designs for creatures, except for the Maposaurus one. The Maposaurus one is a fan-made Beast of the Mesozoic figure. Just want to let you know that, since all the other ones are mine, I don't want that to get confused. But anyways, yeah, Maposaurus, and that's the theory why I think it is. I think the only reason, I honestly think it would have been the main, like, large theropod of Season 1 if it wasn't the fact that T-Rex is so overshown and overshadowing, like, everything else. I think we would have easily seen Maposaurus. I think that's the only reason it was really not shown in the series. It really should have been, especially since they had sauropod hunting a lot, and that's something Maposaurus would have did, opposed to T-Rex not really doing that. So anyways, next, we have Dinochirus. Dinochirus, first reason, again, another Activity Guide species. We already talked about how it's kind of likely for Activity Guide species to appear in the show. Another reason is because I actually forgot to make a slide for this, but maybe I'll put it in while editing. Pretty much, it also did appear in Dino Dex Season 1 as a cartoon design, which usually cartoon designs take quite a while. Like, literally, some cartoon designs from Dino Dan Trek's Adventure did not appear until Dino Dana, and sometimes even not until after Dino Dana, until, like, Dino Dex, and some have not even appeared in the show yet. But, yeah, so it usually takes a while, but Dino Dex seems to be doing things a little bit differently. So perhaps, maybe they could include some new ones from the cartoon episode. And Dinochirus is one of them. Also, it's just such a unique animal that, like, the only thing that's kind of similar to it is Gigantoraptor and Therizinosaurus, and even then, it's very different from those two. It's kind of like one of those mixed with Spinosaurus almost, but at the same time, still even different. So I could definitely see them including it just because of its uniqueness. And also, just, it's one of the more popular recently, just, like, kind of more recent dinosaurs. Dinochirus has been known for quite a while, but, like, this modern take on the animal has only been known for a little bit, like, probably, like, 2010. And they've been seemingly kind of adding more recently species, like Shibuya, I believe, was, like, discovered in 2000, and the Dreadnoughtus is also a more recent species. So, yeah, I could definitely see them doing that, especially with the more, like, popularity Dinochirus has been getting recently. So, could definitely see them including it for that reason. So yeah, again, kind of just a combination of being the Activity Guide, the kind of 2D design we've gotten for the animal, and just, again, the popularity of Dinochirus and the uniqueness. Definitely could be a good addition. Next, we have Styraosaurus. The reason why I'm saying Styraosaurus is because it's the last of the Dino Dan website species that has not appeared in the series. So, like Velociraptor and what was the other one? Yeah, Velociraptor and Aqualops are both Dino Dan website species that were exclusive to the Dino Dan website that eventually got added over to, added in Dino Dex. Pachycephalosaurus is another website exclusive species that got added back in Dino Dana the movie, and there's one more website exclusive species, which is which is the Apatosaurus, though I don't think they're going to add that since, again, I think they would just bring back Diplodocus if they were really going to do that, or just use a different sauropod. I just don't see much of a reason for Apatosaurus to make an appearance. Well, Styracosaurus is a smaller ceratopsian, and could definitely be kind of also like a replacement for Cosmoceratops. So I could definitely see them bringing Styracosaurus in for that. Another thing, it was in the activity guide, like Ankylosaurus and Velociraptor, which were both also in the activity guide and from the Dino Dex website, so there's really good luck for the species being here. This is the second time I predicted Styracosaurus possibly being in the series. Also, when we knew there was going to be 10 species where there was one missing, I predicted Styracosaurus as well. It wasn't, it was Direwolf that time, but I could definitely see seeing Styracosaurus in the series more recently. Anyways, next we have Utahraptor. Why Utahraptor? Again, it's another species from the activity guide, but not only that, Utahraptor also appeared before, not only as like a 2D design, I think it appeared on the Dino Dex website, though I could be wrong about that. I think, actually, now I'm thinking about it, I don't think it appeared on the Dino Dex website even as a 2D design. I do know that it did appear in Trek's Adventure in one of the cartoon episodes, so I could definitely see Utahraptor coming back, just because of that, but also just because we're finally getting more popular species, because a lot of like more popular ones like Pteranodon and Ankylosaurus, Pachycephalosaurus, and other more popular dinosaurs were kind of shoved to the side in this series just to give more obscure ones more recognition. For example, instead of Ankylosaurus, we got Dilophosaurus, and instead of like Velociraptor, we got Dromaeosaurus, which I'm really happy this series has been doing, but they've been seeming to try to introduce some of the more popular species such as Ankylosaurus and Velociraptor into the series, so Utahraptor could definitely be here because of that. Also, I don't know if I mentioned it already, but yeah, it's in the activity guide. A lot of these are activity guide species because, again, they have a good tendency of appearing in the series. So yeah, I could definitely see them bringing in Utahraptor. Next, we have kind of two of them, which is Tropiognathus and Pteranodon. Those are my two picks for species that could appear. There's not really anything backing this up because we haven't had either of these species in the series, though apparently Tropiognathus, I heard some things about Tropiognathus possibly being cut from Trek's Adventure. Outside of that, neither of these two species have had really any introduction into the series, and honestly, we don't have any medium pterosaurs. In Dino Dex, we don't have pterosaurs at all, let alone medium-sized ones, which we've never had in the series. We've always had the small ones, like Pterodactylus and Pterodostro, and then the really big ones being Quachlas. We've never had any of the medium kind of pterosaurs. And these guys could definitely pull a role. And again, they're trying to go with most popular species I've been seeing them go with, so these guys could definitely be there, especially Pteranodon. But I could also see them go with Tropiognathus, kind of give something a little bit more obscure. Either way, I'd be happy with either one of these species, though I think I definitely would be voting Tropiognathus. Either way, those are the two, like, just two kind of medium pterosaurs I could definitely see appearing in the series. Since, again, we don't have any pterosaurs, and I think these guys could definitely work for quite a few things, especially since they're both fish eaters and of a good size. Next, we have Dilophosaurus, which, one big reason why I think Dilophosaurus is going to be in this film, well, definitely could be in the next season of Dino Dex, is because, again, it fills a good role. If they add, I don't see them doing both Dilophosaurus and Utahraptor, so it would probably be one or the other. But I could see them adding Dilophosaurus for quite a few reasons. First thing, again, the activity guide, it is a species that appeared there. It also happened to appear as a 2D design on the website, though being a 2D design on the website doesn't mean particularly much. There's a lot of species on there. Like, I'd say it's way more likely for an activity guide species to get added into the show over a Dino Dex website 2D design species, since, again, the activity guide just seem to be species that they like to include more. But anyways, another big reason is just, again, they like to kind of like go against kind of like popular myths with species, for example, like Dromaeosaurus or pack hunting and other things, especially like a lot of Jurassic Park myths. So I could definitely see them going with Dilophosaurus to give us an actual good depiction of this animal, and I'd honestly love to see this thing in the show. Hopefully they give it a good design. I hope it to be one of the lucky. Hopefully they just generally improve on their design philosophy, because this series has always been good at that. And Dino Dex has definitely stumbled a bit, going with some inaccuracies for really no reason. I hope they don't continue that trend going forward in the series, and hopefully we could get a really good Dilophosaurus design. This could easily be the best Dilophosaurus in media. It definitely would get a lot of reoccurring scenes. Since they like to reuse species a lot, I could definitely see this guy coming back a lot, especially since he's kind of between like the Albertosaurus size range and like the Dromaeosaurus size range, kind of like a good between those. And Dilophosaurus just fits that size range really well. Albertosaurus got used a lot. I could definitely see this guy getting used a lot, if not even more. So yeah. And then the last big reason is because Dilophosaurus is in Jurassic World Rebirth. It seems that a lot, especially recently, they've been going with a lot of species that have been like kind of more popular. And again, Dilophosaurus is appearing in Rebirth. And I think they added Dreadnoughtus and Dino Dex in part of it being in the Jurassic film, giving it popularity, which, again, cough cough, Jurassic franchise has big influence on dinosaurs and media. That's why I kind of hate Titanosaurus being here, when they could have given recognition to a sauropod that needed it more, like Alamosaurus or even Argentinosaurus. Both of those species would have filled the role perfectly. They're not dubious, and just, again, really could have used the recognition, but this is not a Rebirth video. Anyways, Dilophosaurus, again, is appearing in Jurassic World Rebirth. Since it's going to get more popular, even though it's very popular already, I could definitely see them using that to include Dilophosaurus in the series. Anyways, next, our first marine reptile, and our second non-dinosaur species in this video, Mosasaurus. The reason why I think Mosasaurus could be in the series, first thing, again, it had a 2D design in Dino Dex. So I could definitely see them including Mosasaurus because of that. And also, did I forget that it's in Jurassic World Rebirth? So again, another very popular reason. Unlike Dilophosaurus, which seems to be kind of playing a smaller role in the film, Mosasaurus seems to be is actually playing the big role in this film, being one of the main 3 creatures they're going after in this movie. So it's going to get a lot of screen time. We don't have any, we've never had any medium, larger predatory marine reptiles. We've only ever had Plesiosaurus, and we've finally gotten our second, fully marine reptile. And it's Alberta Nectes, another creature that doesn't really, can't really be a really big predator. I don't know exactly how to explain it. I guess that's kind of what the big crocodilians in the show have always played, Dinosuchus and Sarcosuchus, which I know that neither of them are true crocodilians, but still, that's kind of what they've been playing, but we've never had, a fully marine one, like a Pliosaur or a Mosasaur, surprisingly. So, yeah, I could definitely see this being a good opportunity to introduce, pretty much a good chance to introduce Mosasaurus. And this series also, they've kind of used other things. Instead of having large predatory marine reptiles, they've had, again, Dinosuchus and Sarcosuchus, which I consider more semi-aquatic instead of just fully marine, even though in the show they're kind of classified as marine reptiles. But also, Megalodon and Leviathan, which Leviathan not so much, but Megalodon especially was really used as, a big aquatic predator. So I could definitely see them using Mosasaurus this time around. Since I know they do have Megalodon and Dino Dex that I think appear for all the 5 seconds, and Mosasaurus is a bit smaller, so I guess they could possibly work out a way to include it in other places, so it's not just in imaginary episodes. Really hope so. But anyways, that's pretty much why I expect, or at least really hope, Mosasaurus will appear. Definitely could see it appearing for that reason. Next we have, I forgot we actually have this another flying reptile, which is Hatopterus. Again, we have no pterosaurs. Of course, they could definitely bring in another one like Quachlas, which I want to mention this, I'm just saying kind of in as dark, and I'm going with Hatopterus because I think it has a bit more backing on it, but I say Quachlas is very close also, getting a redesign for the series. But either way, Hatopterus appeared again in season 1 with a 2D design, and again, this series likes to go with the most spectacular of a certain animal group. For example, they like to go with the biggest croc, the biggest shark, or the biggest carnivore, the biggest herbivore. They like to kind of go with the most significant from the group. Again, Alberta Nectes' longest neck. Hatopterus is the largest pterosaur. It's even bigger than Quachlas, so I could definitely see them using it as a reason to bring it into the series. And another reason, cough cough, Jurassic World Rebirth, Quachlas, which again, yeah, this could also be backing further, including Quachlas, or at least some sort of as dark is also one of the main creatures, but a lot of people, including me, think that the Rebirth Quachlas looks a bit more and should have been a Hatopterus, so definitely could see them going with that, saying, hey, what if we actually included Hatopterus? But again, also since, again, largest pterosaur, Hatopterus fills that role, could definitely see them bringing it in. So, yeah, next we have Aqualops, another creature that, you either knew about Aqualops before Rebirth, or you knew of it because of Rebirth. And let's be honest, you may be thinking, I'm just including it because it's appearing in Rebirth, but no, it actually has more backing to that. First thing, Aqualops' first appearance was in the Dino Dana Activity Guide, interestingly enough. So that is a strong reason why I think it could definitely be in this film, alongside, again, it being in Rebirth, and in Rebirth it's absolute garbage. I'm sorry, this thing doesn't look like an Aqualops in the slightest, but hopefully they could definitely do that. The only reason I could see this creature not being in this film, in the series, is exclusively because Shibuya is here, and it's already kind of filling the small, cute dinosaur world. Outside of that, I could definitely see them including Aqualops. And another reason actually backing up why it could definitely be Aqualops is because, well, Shibuya is kind of depicted as a active predator, despite it being more, well, it was definitely not a herbivore, but it was more of an insectivore, at least, and I think Mononychids might have been omnivores in general, but Shibuya would have probably targeted insects and maybe small lizards, but in the show it's just a full-on small dromaeosaur-like predator. And since they kind of push it as a carnivore a lot, I could definitely see room for a opposite of that being a herbivore. So that's another reason why I think Aqualops could definitely be in this series. Again, I'm also a little bit more of a recently described species. Just generally, I think it would make a lot of sense. Another one that I could definitely see them bringing is Protoceratops, kind of as a counter to Velociraptor, since we've gotten T-Rex versus Triceratops, but we haven't really gotten Velociraptor versus Protoceratops, another iconic dinosaur duel. So I could definitely see them having Aqualops or Protoceratops, but I'm going to go with Aqualops since it was in the activity guide. And I don't think Protoceratops really had any significance in the series, well, at least Aqualops was in the activity guide. And again, it's going to be in Dino Dex. And, like, I could definitely see this being a species that is included. Now we have, I believe, the last one. Yeah, I think this is the last one. Spinosaurus. You can already know where I'm going with this. So, first, technically Spinosaurus was not in the activity guide. It's already been in the series, and it's a very popular dinosaur. And it's gotten, honestly, like, I'm just going to start off with, it's like, we already have T-Rex, and if they want to do another large carnivore, I can kind of see them not going with Maposaurus, but Spinosaurus instead, since Spinosaurus looks more unique and is more unique compared to T-Rex. And again, just generally, 2025 seems to be the year of Spinosaurus, so that's just another reason why. And Dino Dex Season 2, I'm suspecting, is coming out around October of this year, so definitely could see it being, that being a reason why they're including Spinosaurus. But also, Australasia is in the series, but I could definitely see them replacing Spinosaurus with Australasia, though I don't find it as likely as some replacements, since Spinosaurus is just that iconic. I don't think they would just replace it with Australasia, but Australasia could definitely be a replacement. But another reason is, if you didn't already guess, Jurassic World Rebirth has Spinosaurus, a big popularity boost to this animal, so another reason why they would want to include it and have more incentive to include it in Dino Dex. So I could definitely see that being another reason on why they would include Spinosaurus. I mean, just generally, again, there's a lot of other appearances of this animal, so just being more popular, I could definitely see them wanting to include Spinosaurus. So yeah, that's pretty much all the species. I am going to kind of add like a little extra segment. I know okay, my prediction for Dino Dex's release date for the second season is around, actually pretty similar, I can't remember the exact date, but sometime in October. Kind of similar to the first series releasing in October. And Chaos Theory is releasing in November. I could see them also pushing it back to November just to compete with Chaos Theory. And if they do that, I could definitely see them including some Chaos Theory species, so maybe Giganotosaurus could get a return, Therizinosaurus could get a return, and Quachlas, all three of those appeared in Dominion, and we're going to get more popularity boost from there. But I would find it more likely that they would want to act on the actual new Jurassic film instead of the new Jurassic series, even though I think the series is better. Anyways, again, I could definitely see them kind of wanting to use some of these species in there. That also could mean that maybe they would want to include a Dimetrodon, so I guess that's my non-Mesozoic species inclusion, maybe Dimetrodon being a species that they would include in the series. But yeah, that was just kind of like a random input. Pretty much, I haven't done any Rebirth videos in quite a while since, I meant to say Chaos. What am I talking about? I just went Rebirth and Chaos 3. Anyways, I haven't done any Dino Dex videos in quite a while since there just hasn't been much to talk about outside of like the show finishing, releasing in other countries. But again, I've already done the screen times of it, already talked about the full series, and I only have a few, like 3 or 4 more big Dino Dex videos planned. And honestly, I'll probably go back to covering the series way more once we get more information on the actual second season. But seeing we don't have any of that, and they just recently released the 3rd batch of episodes, they're going to be trying to push that for a little bit. Hopefully, they finally, after that, I'd say they're probably going to push the new season for about a month or 2 more. And then after that, we're going to probably have like a month or 2 of silence, and then after that, we'll finally get some new information on the 3rd season. So it's going to be probably like anywhere from like 4 to 6 months before we get any new information on the second season of Dino Dex, so that's a bit unfortunate. But until then, I do have some big videos planned for the series. I have one for a concept spin-off show, which that one, honestly, the only reason it's taking so long is I have a lot of designs I have to do for that video. I also definitely plan on doing a part 2 to the Dino Dex, kind of like, that's pretty much, I did 2 videos, like a 2-part videos on pretty much just your fan choices for Dino Dex season, well, the first season of Dino Dex species you guys hope appear in the series, and I do plan on doing a part 3 to that for season 2, so if you have any suggestions, please comment down below in this video, so that I can actually, start working on those designs for the actual video. So yeah, if you have any suggestions for that, please again comment down below. I'll also link the other 2 in the description of the video if you want to see the first part 2. But yeah, and then after that, I also plan on doing the Dino Dex series review, which again, I am so sorry that's taking me so long to do. It's just that video is so long, and it's going to be a very big project, and I've been working on a lot of other pretty decent-sized projects recently, and just have not had any time to work on it, especially with like the Rebirth news and like the Chaos Theory news behind before that and other things. Unfortunately didn't have much time to actually work on it. So again, I will hopefully get time to finally start working on that so I can do that. It's going to be a very big video, probably close to my Rebirth rewrite video, but yeah. And then the last kind of big video, I'm still debating if I'm going to make it its own separate video or just include it in the Dino Dex, Dino Dex series review, which the Dino Dex series review I do want to also mention is going to be it's pretty much just going to be a breakdown of each episode. Not only that, I'm going to be rating each episode. We're pretty much going to be doing the improvements for the entire series, doing pretty much a rewrite of the first series. And then again, the video I'm debating if it's going to be its own separate thing or part of it is going to be like pretty much new episode ideas for the series, maybe for future seasons. Maybe I'll do it as a concept for the first, pretty much do a concept for a season 2 or something in that. Still have not quite decided for the first season of Dino Dex, and quite a few other things. I just want to do some just do a lot of talking about the series. It's going to be a very long video, and that's why I've not started working on it. But yeah, that's pretty much what to expect. So yeah, those are the big Dino Dex videos. Again, sorry I haven't really done much on it. Again, we've just kind of been caught up with Walking the Dinosaurs 2025, which I want to mention, I only have one screen time left to do Styraosaurus. It's already edited, just needs to be edited more because of copyright and stuff. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on Dino Dex. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!